Hello everyone. Welcome to the form filling guidelines video for integrated program in management at IIM Amritsar. Now before we fill up the form, let us look at what are the documents that we need to keep in handy so that the form filling becomes easier. Now first thing is the scanned copy of the IPMAT Indore registration receipt. So which means you should apply for IPMAT Indore first, because the registration receipt is necessary for you to apply for IIM Amritsar. Then a scanned copy of your 10th class mark sheet. If you have already completed 12th, then you need to have a scanned copy of your 12th class mark sheet as well. Along with this, a certificate in case you belong to one of the mentioned categories like NCOBC, SC, ST, EWS and PWD from a competent authority. In case you have any doubts with the format of the certificate, please refer to the official website of IIM Amritsar or write to them to obtain a format in which you need to obtain the caste certificate. Then, if you are an international student, then you need to have a copy of your passport of the student as well as the parent. For domestic applicants, it's not required. Whereas for everyone, you need to have a passport size photo of the candidate, passport size photo of the parent, along with a scanned copy of the signature of the candidate and a scanned copy of the signature of the parent. So please ensure that you keep all these documents ready before you get into the application form filling. Now the dates. The last date to apply is 31st of March. And please note, the last date to apply for IPMAT Indore is 14th of March. And the IPMAT Indore exam is scheduled on May 4th of 2026. Since the admission process is different for domestic students and international students, you can refer to the respective links on the webpage, on the website of IIM Amritsar to understand the process that needs to be followed for both domestic as well as international applicants. Now, if we look at a few details before we start the form, one is the admission policy for Indian applicants or domestic students as we call them. Now, you need to belong to one of the different categories mentioned like general, NCOBC, SC, ST, EWS or PWD. Now, it is applicable to only Indian citizens. Now, there are different parameters or different weightages assigned to different parameters of selection process. So, make sure that you verify the eligibility clearly in terms of age, caste, the marks needs to score in 10th and 12th to ensure whether you are eligible for the program on all aspects or not. So the eligibility criteria for Indian applicants says, number one, the age should not be more than 20 years as on 1st July 2026. And the student should have passed or should be appearing for the 12th exams in 2025 or 2026 with mathematics or applied mathematics as a compulsory paper. Now, the integrated program in management at IIM Amritsar is one of the few programs that require the candidate to have mathematics as a compulsory paper in 11th and 12th. The minimum percentage of marks that you should score in 10th as well as 12th is 60%. In case of SC, ST and PWD category, there's a relaxation of 5%. And further eligibility criteria, you need to make sure that once if you are appearing for 12th, now once you apply, you go through the admission process, you will be given a provisional selection, meaning you are offered an admission subject to completion of all the document-based formalities. So by the time you join the college, you need to submit your 12th mark sheet, which proves the fact that you have scored more than 60%, as well as any other category related certificates or criteria you need to satisfy. In case if you are pursuing your 10th or 12th from international schools, like you have studied in international curriculum pertaining to boards like IGCSE or IB, then you are eligible to apply. However, when it comes to conversion of your grades to percentage of marks or so, you need to have a conversion certificate that is produced by the competent authority. Now, when we look at the application process or the admission process rather, shortlisting at first stage is done based on minimum criteria. So the college would verify whether you satisfy all the basic details like age, minimum percentage in 10th, etc. And the second step is where your application has to be complete in all aspects. And then you'll have to appear for the entrance test. Now, the selection process is such that now, once the student meets the minimum eligibility criteria of the IPM program and have submitted the form in all aspects, students who score more than the cutoff that is decided by the college will be shortlisted for the second stage of selection process. Now, the cutoff is determined in terms of ATS, which is aptitude test score. Let us see how the weightage is given. Now, for the quantitative ability, MCQ and short answer section, there is a 30% weightage each that is assigned. But the weightage is not given to the marks you have scored in that section directly. Rather, the score or the weightage is calculated based on the formula. Now, in a particular section, the score you have got minus the minimum score divided by the maximum minus minimum score in that particular section into 30. Now, this is a similar process of ATS calculated by IIM Indore as well. In this manner, your ATS score for all the three sections are calculated with 30, 30 and 40% weightage assigned respectively. And the sum of all these will give the final ATS. Now, based on the ATS, the students will be shortlisted for interview, and students whoever are shortlisted have to appear for the interview, personal interview, where the candidates will be evaluated on aspects like academic profile, communication, general awareness, extracurricular activities, etc. And based on the written test score as well as the personal interview, the final merit list will be published. And for the final merit list, a 70% weightage is given to the aptitude test score and 25% weightage to the personal interview score. Please note that there is 5% weightage given to gender diversity at the merit list preparation stage, which means girl children who have appeared for interview will get these 5 points, whereas boys do not get any. And of course, all the reservation norms as per Central Government of India Act will be implemented, where 27% of the seats for NCOBC, 15% for SC, 7.5% for ST, and so on. Now, also the PWD categories are listed as you see on the screen. So students belonging to these specific categories are considered under PWD. Of course, there are certain criteria that needs to be met, which you can refer to the PWD guidelines. Now, please note that once the application form is filled, whatever you fill or whatever you have mentioned have to be absolutely accurate. Any change in data at a later point in time will result in cancellation of your candidature. Now, let's go through the form filling. Now, from Grad School Zone, you can click on the link to apply for IIM Amritsar. Now, this is the home page of the registration process, where you need to select the nationality first, whether you are an Indian citizen or an other country citizen. Then you enter the mobile number, your name. Please make sure the name that you enter here is same as how it is in your ID proof. Then date of birth, gender, and you choose an email ID and a password of your choice. And once you enter the CAPTCHA and click on register, it displays a message like this saying registration successful, and an email for verification would have been sent to the ID that you have provided earlier. Please note that the verification email link will be valid only for 10 minutes. So immediately you log into your email ID and you click on verify the email that you have received. The moment you click on that, it will show you the successful completion of verification. And then you can click on back to home, where you will be asked to log in. Now use the same email ID and password that you have chosen earlier and log into the page. Now some of the personal details will be auto-filled based on what you have given earlier. Now once you enter, or once you see all the basic details are entered, now the next one is where you need to choose the application. Now click on apply now, and it will take you to the respective application of IPM. Now here some of the details will be already filled, auto-filled based on what you have given earlier. Now you need to enter your permanent address as well as your communication address in this particular page, post which your parents' details are necessary. So both your father's as well as your mother's name, gender, nationality, email ID, as well as mobile number, right? Now, I think you can mention one of your parents. You don't have to mention both, either father's or mother's. Whosoever details you mention here, please make sure that the photo and signature scanned copy that you need to have is of the same parent. Now, in the next page, you need to enter the education details, your 10th and 12th. Of course, if you have not completed 12th yet, if you are still appearing, then you can choose the option as appearing. Once you enter the percentages, now here there may be a doubt, particularly for students who have filled other college applications. Now, let's say I am from a specific board in 10th where my mark sheet has 6 subjects, but the percentage or grades mentioned on my mark sheet is calculated considering only best of the 5. Now, in some colleges, they ask you to follow the same guidelines as that of your board, whereas in some college applications, they say irrespective of the board guidelines, you need to enter the scores of all the subjects. Now, since here nothing is mentioned in that regard, you can directly follow the guidelines of what the board you are from says. Now, the next and important part is where you need to enter your extracurricular details. Now, as you can see, number 1, extracurricular activities where you have achievements, because you need to not only mention the name of the activity, but also an achievement either at a local or a state or a national level. So ideally, if you have an achievement at a city level or a district level or a national or a state level, only then you mention. If you have multiple such activities, you can use the plus symbol that you have on the right side to add more options and fill up respectively. Now, after the extracurricular activities, you also have a place where you can enter any awards, recognitions, professional affiliations that you have. So any sort of awards that you have, please make sure that it is at least a school level or a zonal level or a city level. That's a bare minimum to mention. And also you need to briefly explain what that specific achievement is. Also the month and year in which you have achieved it. Even these awards and recognitions, you can enter multiple in number using the plus symbol on the right side. And after that, you need to update the IPMAT Indore registration details. So the IPMAT Indore registration number, which starts with A, T and some digits, please make sure that you enter the same here exact. Make sure that there is no error in entering the application number. In the next page, you will have to upload your mark sheet of your 10th class as well as the certificate. Now, in case if you don't have a certificate, then the mark sheet itself becomes the certificate also. And in case of higher secondary, if you are yet to appear for 12th exams, then you can leave it blank. And IPMAT registration receipt that you have obtained after successful submission of IPMAT Indore application form. Now, once you click on Save and Continue, then it will give you the option to upload the current photo and signature of the candidate as well as the parent. Now, this is the last step of the application process. So then you will have to read the standard declaration and agree to the terms and conditions, enter the place, maybe the city in which you are while filling the form, and submit. But before it, you have to submit, you give a final confirmation. There is also an option for a form preview. So go through the entire preview, verify twice whether you have entered the right information for each of the fields. And once you are 100% sure that you have entered everything absolutely correct, only then go to the last page where you will have to make the fee payment. And once the fee payment is successful, the entire application process is completed and you will receive an acknowledgement of the same. So I hope this video has been helpful. So make sure you read through the guidelines clearly. For any doubt that you have, either talk to your respective mentor or reach out to IIM Amritsar and only then fill up the application form. Please do not wait till the last date of the application form, because towards the last 2-3 days, there would be heavy traffic on the server and there might be technical glitches. It's always better to apply well ahead. All the best and see you guys in the next video.